This computer. Recording in progress, the dulcet tones of Zoom. Ladies and gents, I'm going to dive straight in. Ben Marley, a lot of you would know him from his role at Esther's, but now he's moved on to his own venture, which is called GeoCow. It's fascinating, some of the stuff he's about to talk about. Ben, I'm not a great one for introductions. First of all, how are you?
Very good. It's Thursday. Today's my Friday. I go on holiday tomorrow morning at 3:15 a.m.
Where are you going?
Gran Canaria.
Oh, bit of warmth, bit of winter sun.
Canaries are pretty good for warmth in December.
Good stuff, good stuff. His new venture's obviously doing well, folks. Um, so
In my defence, I'm slightly regretting it. We booked this in January before I'd even thought about launching it, or before I confirmed I was going to launch the business and everything. Now I'm a bit like, oh yeah, what have I done? Yeah, it's
Right.
okay.
So it's interesting.
Okay,
So tell us a bit about the business. I know you've got a presentation as well,
sure.
which I think that people will
Okay,
find really useful.
yep.
But just tell us
So
briefly when you started and why you
yeah.
started.
Okay. So brief bit of background. I'm sure quite a lot of people may have heard of me or see me, or probably not, but for various different reasons, whatever. So I worked in the supply world for the last 10 years. FIFO, Rightmove, Esters, right? They're the gigs that I've done for the last decade. Primarily, 9 of those 10 years has been spent working in the online review space. I would probably say for the last 2 years prior to setting up to the business, I was telling people a lot of things that they could do on an individual basis to go and improve their Google business profile ranking just through knowledge that I had. And this knowledge that I've built up over the last 10 years. And no one ever actioned anything that I ever told them. So either I was talking a load of rubbish, or that they didn't have the time, or they didn't really understand the things that I was telling them anecdotally to go, oh, by the way, go and change this, this, and this, and this will help your ranking. Time and knowledge were the 2 reasons as to why no one ever did anything. So I flippantly asked someone one day, would you pay me to go and do it? And they went, oh, could you, Ben? That would save us because we just don't have the time.
Yeah.
We don't really, we'll start it and then we'll never carry on doing it.
Yeah.
And it was off the back of that. And I was like, do you know what? I think there's an opportunity to help some businesses with this, because the map and your Google profile is the most influential thing on Google search results now. So back in kind of 2018, Google made this big play and this big change where they moved the map on the desktop. They moved it from the right-hand side of the page to the left-hand side of the page and pushed organic listings further down. Subsequently, and the same on mobile, they pushed it to the top. So now what happens is that the map is now the first thing that someone sees. If you imagine as Google or anything search, right? Primarily, it's designed to show you the most relevant businesses, the most relevant content pages according to the search that you've done. And do you really look outside the top 3 or 4? No, you don't, because it's pushed back the ones that Google is saying, here are you guys, right? So the great news is that every time, for an estate agent, every time someone is now doing a search for estate agent, your town, location, or any other kind of permutation to this, it doesn't just have to be estate agent location. It could just be estate agent near me. It could be estate agent. Google's intuitive enough that it doesn't need an actual location to understand that the search term has a local intent on it. So every time it does that, it always brings back 3 results. A lot of people have been told in the past, go and get Google reviews. And Google reviews is the way to get yourself to the top of the map search results. It's great for your SEO. There is some truth behind it. There is, obviously, I've worked in reviews for a long time. Google reviews does play a factor, but it's never the be all and end all as to who appears in the map and who doesn't. Otherwise, it would just be a race to who can go and collect the most reviews. And you've got freelance websites like Fiverr, which advertise, pay us 100 quid and we'll write you 50 Google reviews. People would just be going and doing that to ensure that they're at the top of Google. So there's actually 149 different factors involved as to how Google decides.
149, you said, yeah?
149, mate. Yeah, yeah. So Google's always going to bring back 3 results, which is great.
Yeah.
Challenge comes, if it's not you, then it's three of your competitors. So if you're not there, someone else is always going to be there. So every single time in your town, in your area, where someone is doing a search saying, I'm looking for an estate agent, I'm looking to see who sold what properties in my area recently, or whatever kind of permutation of those searches that someone's going to be doing, always going to bring back three. It's just whether you're one of those three or not. That's what we do. We help. We are a laser focused business, or a one trick pony, whichever way you want to look at it. In that we help businesses to get into the map who don't appear in the map, and it's not as straightforward as searching incognito and searching estate agent location, because that will only ever bring up the result based on the center point of that town's search. Anyone doing this now, you might be going, well, I'm going to check mine, and you're sat in your office. You should always come up number one because you're sat in your office, and the point from the search term to where your office is located is 0, right? You go 50 meters down the road, it's going to bring up different results.
And that can be really misleading, that for people that don't know that little fact.
Correct.
Otherwise, you think you're doing well all the time. I've been guilty of that.
When I search, we're there.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not quite the case. And that's not to say that anyone's wrong or anything. This is just the way that Google works. Is that it obviously tracks IP addresses. It tracks the GPS in your phone. So it understands where someone is located in that period in time, because the map is designed to be able to say, based on where you're located at that period in time, we believe that these are the 3 most relevant businesses, right? So it's now going, okay, so how do you influence Google to say, this is why you need to promote my business as opposed to someone else as the most relevant, right? If you want to really break it down in kind of real layman's terms, what is Google? It's a search engine, right? What does an engine need? It needs fuel. But the fuel that Google eats is relevant data.
I like that.
So if you're not, right, so the way that it works is that it goes, okay, how much relevant data, based on that search, how much relevant data have I got to be able to quantify that business 1, 2, and 3 are the 3 most relevant businesses? What we do is feed it data, feed it relevant data to say that this is why you want to promote this business as being the most relevant business based on all of the algorithm factors that it takes into consideration. That is us. That is quite a long-winded way of saying geocal. That's what we do. Like without this being overly promotional, we only work with 1 business per town, per industry. So we never work with any competing businesses. So we have had some conversations already where we've had to say to people, unfortunately, we are already working with someone in that town. You can be top of the waiting list now, should that change in the future. But today, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to give you some tips, some stuff that you can, as a business owner, as an agent, even if you're not an agent, that you can go away and do. You can go and action yourself. And these are things that Google wants you to do. If you do want to receive a free report just to understand how you're currently ranking, at the end, there is a QR code that I'll share on the screen. You can scan that, download your free Google report, and that will get sent to you within about 5 or 10 minutes of you doing that. Hopefully off the actions that I can give you, that there'll be some stuff in there you can go, cool, there's just stuff that we can implement as well.
Just one quick question before we dive in. So with that Google review of the QR code, what will that sort of cover for people?
So the report will give you an understanding of kind of how you currently rank in your local area.
Okay.
It will give you an understanding of how many reviews you've got. It will give you an understanding of one of the things that I'm going to cover in a minute in terms of where else is your business registered online, and does that information match your Google profile and your website, and is there any discrepancies with that? It will also give you an understanding of your website performance as well. Not that we get involved in websites, but the idea of it basically being, it'll give you a fairly holistic view of this is the current state of play based on your town, your competition, where you are.
Yeah, that sounds good, mate. Sounds good. Do you need access to share anything on the
If
screen?
I may.
I think I've shared it with you.
Okay, just bear with me 2 seconds to make sure I get the right thing up. Oh, hold on. I have just hit slide share.
Here we go.
Okay. Is that on your screen now, Joe?
How to dominate on Google Maps.
There we go. Dominate. Okay. So, obviously, we've kind of dived into some of this already in terms of the whys and the hows, right? So Google's always going to bring up an estate agent or the three most relevant businesses every time someone is doing a search. And today we'll be giving you some indication as to how and why you can. So I'm just trying to see. Here we go. Your Google business profile and what you can do for it. Okay, so we've kind of covered this already in terms of why should I be paying attention to it if you're not already. The thing to remember with this is that if someone does, to coin the phrase Google business, it will be the first thing that comes up. So making sure that is as good as it can be in terms of the way that it's presented and also in terms of the way that you want it to be seen. As might sound a bit cliche, calling it your digital shop window, but it's effectively like the first promotional thing that you're going to see. Obviously, when people are looking for you, again, it's the first impression that they're going to get of you, and obviously that the map pack has the highest amount of clicks and phone calls, etc., in that area. So
that's the map pack, is it? That what you're showing us
is now the map pack.
Right,
so every time that search happens, the top 3 share as much as 44% of all of the phone calls, engagement, inquiries off that search term.
Interesting.
So the great news is, if you're there, mega, because this is effectively like an untapped goldmine, right? And you'll hear loads of people talking about prospecting, AI. We're going to help you find the next property that's due to come on the market so that you can tap into all this stuff, right? And that's all great. That has its own place. What about the people that are sat there going, right, we're going to put our house on the market. Who do we want to choose? Who do we want to engage with? These are the people that are actively saying, hello, I'm looking to put my house on the market. I'm looking for an estate agent. So many people are spending so much effort on focusing on, we're going to tap into people that might be considering in the future or this and that. What about the people that are actively looking? I think everyone's forgotten about the people that are actively looking. So we want to try and tap into that as much as possible. So here are 10 things, and I'm going to try and rattle through these as quickly as possible. Complete your profile. Okay, so every time you log into your Google Business profile, you will see on the right-hand side there where that green circle is, how complete your profile is. Might seem really obvious that you should go and complete your profile. I would say more than 50% of the businesses that we work with have an incomplete profile. Google will give you instructions, all the things you need to do and go and do. It will give you prompts as to how you can go and do that. Bear with me. I've just lost my clicker, Jerry. There we go. We're back.
Clicked up.
We're back. Okay. Next thing is we want to make sure that your address matches your Google profile and your website. Sometimes there can be very small discrepancies. So this was an agent that we just started to work with, and you can see on the Google profile that they were called Audley House, 13 Palace Street, and then on the website they were just called 13 Palace Street. So what we've done is we've obviously had to match that because Audley House doesn't appear on the website, so Google can't match it.
I think I need to do that on my website. I think mine's different.
Right. It's one of those things, Jerry. It's easy to assume that because it says 13 Palace Street, that would be okay and it's picked up. it's almost like you're making it harder for Google to reference it by not having it exactly the same, right? This is probably one of the biggest ones that I would say the vast majority of agents' websites fall down on, is that they don't have their opening hours on the website, right? If you don't have your opening hours on your website, let's say that on a Google profile here, that they've said that they are open between 9 and 5:30 on a Wednesday. So if I do a search for estate agent Chichester on a Wednesday at 3 p.m, on their contact page on their website or on the footer of their website, doesn't show their open hours. So Google can't reference that they're actually open. Right. So another business who does say that they're open on the website and on their Google profile, guess what? Is going to promote them over someone who says we are open, but not on a website.
That's got to be a massive one, this, because I can't think of any. And we've written copy for loads of estate agency websites, but I've never been asked to do anything around opening hours or on a website. So that must be massive, is it?
I would say at least 70% of businesses that we've started to work with don't have this.
Oh yeah, I think probably it goes even higher in some. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Obviously, we've spoken about reviews, right? If you're not collecting reviews, or maybe your reviews are less than favourable, do something about it, right? It's such a missed opportunity. If I walk down every high street and I said to every agent, tell me why you're so good, they're all going to tell me personal service. We really care about our customers. We like to put the customer at the forefront of everything that we're doing. Why on earth do your reviews online not reflect that? Because guess what? If they don't reflect that, people are just going to go, see you later.
You know, like this snapshot you've got here, no one's going to, if they're in the same town, no one's going to pick up the phone to Tully & Co. if they've got this option of Deakin White with their 343 Google.
Yeah, I mean, the irony, they're not in the same town, but the point basically being is that in every town, you're going to have businesses that have got loads of good reviews. And if you've got loads of bad reviews or not many good reviews, just going to turn people off, right? Like, do something about it. You know, it's just easy. Okay. On reviews, need to reply to your reviews. And I've been banging this drum now for quite a few months. You need to reply to your reviews within 18 hours of the review being left.
Why is that?
Because that's what Google wants you to do. If you don't reply within 18 hours, then they penalize you for it.
Interesting.
It used to be 72 hours a couple of years ago, and now they've changed it to 18 hours. So for anyone out there, if you've got loads of reviews, so just for example, this was just a random agent I found, and by the way, it was just like, it was really easy to find this agent in terms of, I just went estate agent location and just found an agent very quickly who has got 519 reviews, right? So they're obviously really pushing reviews hard, and they're obviously making a real concerted effort to try and push these reviews, yet they don't reply to them.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're collecting reviews and you're not even replying to reviews, then you know you're giving away 6% of the overall algorithm to your competitors who are collecting them. And often people go, well, I've got more reviews than someone else. Why am I not higher? Well, do you reply to your reviews? Do you reply within 18 hours?
Right. Excellent.
You know,
great tip.
Just on replying to reviews, if anyone tells you anything about, oh, you need to put certain keywords in there, it's absolute rubbish. You do not need to put keywords in your responses, because Google will not care about the responses that you write to the customer in terms of keywords, because it's you writing it, not the customer. If the customer writes it, it's called user-generated content. If you write it, it's nothing.
And it looks inauthentic, you know, when you try and pepper keywords into stuff and say, oh, yeah.
Thank you for using so-and-so estate agents in ... right? Yeah. Rubbish. Forget it. Sorry, just one thing I will say on responding to your reviews. I think sometimes if you get a review whereby maybe someone hasn't written much, or they've just put a 5-star review in there, and you know, great service, highly recommend, or just nothing at all, I suspect that there's often a pretty good chance in those situations whereby that transaction might have been tricky, might have taken a while. Your response actually gives you the opportunity to tell the story as per what you've done.
Right.
So use that as an opportunity to go, yeah, do you know what? Like,
Yeah.
we worked really hard on this. We had a couple of buyers pull out. We got it resold. We kept you updated, etc. Use that as an opportunity to sell your service and demonstrate to people in terms of that, right? Okay, so you can add photos to your profile.
Yeah.
What Google want to see with this is they don't want to see properties that you've sold when you upload photos to it. What they want to see is photos about your business. And effectively, you almost need to think non-estate agencies here. They want to see you doing your job and you operating as whatever you do, right? So putting up photos of the team is really good. Putting up maybe photos of you handing over keys to people is really good. You need to keep updating the profile with photos, right? And when we're saying keep updating, you need to do this every month. You need to just add a couple of photos, three or four photos every month of you doing the job. Maybe you select side properties, maybe doing a viewing or whatever it is that you're doing. Put photos up there. Google loves it. It's content. On the subject of content, people may or may not be aware. You can, if you log into your Google profile, you'll see something that says add update. When you add update, this is an opportunity for you to post effectively almost like a social media post about your business. It can be anything from an update based on maybe a property you sold, a lifestyle post. You can add in offers, you can add in events. If you're sponsoring a local event, put that in there. You can create lots of different content on there, and Google loves it. Right? You can put call to actions.
Did you post a link, Ben, to content that was sitting somewhere else, maybe on your website, or is that considered nah?
When you post the content, you actually need to post a picture and some text rather than a link to somewhere else. I would advise you against doing a link to somewhere else because it often detracts from the content that you're actually posting.
Right, okay.
There is always a call to action on there, and the call to action you can put inquire now, call now, find out more, etc. In that call to action, where my cursor is there now, you can then predefine the link that you want that to go through to. So if it's find out more, put the link in that rather than the link in the content.
Because what I'm thinking, say like it was a blog, I don't know, changes to leasehold is one that we did, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Could you do something like a sentence that says changes to leasehold laws, we've written an article about it?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, so anything that's like blog content or anything like that at all, that's kind of the lifestyle stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Get it in there. You need to do minimum 2 to 3 a week, minimum posts. If you don't, this will come back to my consistency thing. If you do it and then stop, it's not going to have the effect. It's a bit like when people say, oh yeah, we go through peaks and troughs of collecting Google reviews, and every 3 months we all stay behind one night and we get pizzas in and we ring around all our customers and ask them to leave Google reviews. That's no good. This has to be consistent. It has to be done as often as possible. Okay. On your Google profile, you can add your social media accounts. Okay. Now it's very common and very much known that social media platforms will prefer the accounts of individuals rather than the business accounts. But make sure in terms of Google that you add your business accounts and not your personal accounts, right?
Yeah.
Don't add your personal accounts because Google does not give two monkeys about it. What they want to see on here, again, when we're talking about references, they want to see where else your business is registered, and this just gives them good plugs to be able to do that. Okay, so business accounts, not personal accounts, right? This is massive. Number 9, arguably one of the it is one of the biggest things. I wouldn't necessarily say the biggest thing. It's up there in the top Top two or three things that everyone should go and do if you really want to push this. Okay.
Is this not? I bet this is the bit where people go, Ben, do us both, mate. You just do it. That would be me. I would look at that and think, oh, I'm not doing all that. I'm going to get someone to do it.
I'm this, to be honest, Jerry, this is scratching the surface in terms of the places that you could go and register yourself with.
Okay.
There's at least 100 that you can go and do, right? So citation sites, just to very briefly explain.
Yeah.
Citation sites are websites, platforms that will allow a company to register their business with them. And there's some of the sat nav stuff up there. So you're looking at like Waze, Uber, TomTom, for example, right? Obviously, no one's going to jump in an Uber and go take me to Jerry's estate agents in Seaford.
Yeah.
I mean, they might do, but they're probably not.
Be lunatics.
It's there purely as a reference point for Google. So one of the things that Google's looking for when it's doing that search, you know, when we said about feeding it relevant data, and we said about how do we make sure that we can help Google and identify the customer that we're working with to be the most relevant one. Name, address, and phone number, they call it the NAP, right? The more places that are high relevancy, high domain authority rated platforms that you can get yourself registered on, the better. Because Google, for example, Google trusts Uber, it trusts Waze. I mean, it owns Waze navigation. You know, a lot of these platforms out there, Proven Expert, no one's ever heard of Proven Expert, right? I don't even know where it came from, how long it's been around. Yeah, its domain authority rating is really high and it has directories. It is a directory. Get yourself registered on them. There are more than 100 of these that you can go and do.
Oh.
Okay. What we do, without this sounding like it's a plug, we go and register you with two networks. One is called the Foursquare network. One is called the GPS network. And we have to pay to do this because it's something that is chargeable to do it correctly. GPS network is effectively Waze, TomTom, Uber, NavMe, here, etc. Right? Really high trusted platforms that are all built into people's cars or phones, etc. Foursquare network is again another GPS network, but it actually powers 150,000 different apps. Okay, there is a website called Foursquare, but that's just the Foursquare website. The Foursquare network powers 150,000 different apps, including things like Airbnb. Right. So if you imagine, you wouldn't think Airbnb is a booking website, but it's got GPS in it because it understands where somewhere is located. So when you go, I'm looking to book a 3-bedroom property in Dorset. Guess what? It focuses on Dorset using GPS and it understands where all of those places in Dorset are. That GPS is effective. That data is actually being powered by the Foursquare network. So Foursquare sends data to Airbnb. So what we do is we go and register them with the Foursquare network that pushes you out, and data is massive, right? But by doing it, it's one of the things that can really separate you from your competition because you're registered there, and guess what? No one else is.
Yeah,
that's a really, really good thing to be able to do. And then the last, but not by no means least, is consistency, right? As I said, everything sounds great in principle, and everything that I've shown you today, you can go and do for free. Ain't going to cost you a bang, right? If you're going to do it and you're going to commit to it, do it every week. Everything that I've just shown you has to be done daily, weekly, etc. If you don't do it and it drops off, then you're just wasting your efforts on the time that you have done it.
Does your service do the consistency part? If we were to say, oh, we want to do posts, or is it just you teach the agent how to do?
No. Okay, sorry. Right. Because I was trying to not make this about us and what we do, although it's kind of turned.
It's always about you, Ben.
Maybe it feels like it's turned into that. We're a turnkey solution. So what we do is we're a managed service. So we basically take ownership of it. It's a bit like if you are a letting agent or you've got lettings and you do property management, you offer a turnkey solution whereby you go, here's my stuff, go do it for me. That's what we do. So we don't teach people how to do it. We do it on their behalf.
I love that. And you know what I like about this service? And I said this to you before when you came down to Seaford to discuss it. You can like by going, yeah, here you sort it out. It's basics, but you can do these basics brilliantly if you do all these steps and all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I mean, there is kind of more.
oh yeah,
We
don't get me
do
wrong,
more
it's
than
to it. I'm not saying it's
what we've offered
basic. I'm
today.
not saying
Yeah,
it's basic in a way like, oh, that's just basic. But all the best performers in sport, business, you name it, they're doing the basic stuff brilliantly.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like
So
what you just
this
outlined
is
there, I'm very impressed.
you've got to do everything, and you've got to make sure, because if you imagine that, like as you can tell, Jerry, I like an analogy with my engine reference earlier. This is a puzzle,
Yeah.
okay, and what Google will do is promote the three businesses that have completed the most amount of the puzzle,
The jigsaw, the pieces, yeah? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We just go and add all of the pieces
Yeah.
for customers to make sure that we've done everything that Google's looking for. We don't obviously, without, I'm not, it's going to sound really bad. I'm not trying to make it about me. What we've got to remember with this, right, is that even if you go and employ all of the things that we've just done today, and whether you use me or someone else, or you do it yourself, okay? If you're not there at the moment, don't be disheartened by the fact that this, by implementing all of these things, that it doesn't have an immediate impact, because depending on where you were, depending on where you ranked, this is going to take time to outperform the people that were already at the top. So you've got to think of this as being an investment over a kind of medium to long-term strategy by going, okay, we want to get ourselves up there. You know, maybe we could have done this before, but actually the next best day to do this is today, to start doing it. You've got to be consistent. You've got to keep on it. You've got to make sure that you do every single thing. If you don't do everything that we've just gone through there, forget it, because you're just giving away parts of the algorithm to other people who are doing those things, and you're effectively wasting the time and effort that you spent doing some of
So
those
when you
things.
say mid to long term, what does that mean? Because like mid term for some people is 3 years, where long term for some people is, well, 18 months. So how do you define it?
It's almost, you need to look at this on an individual basis. Or the way I look at it is that I look at it on an individual basis, and I say to some people that, depending on who your competition is, how much competition that there is, sometimes you can leapfrog quite a lot of places in a relatively short period of time. Just depends on, because what you can't influence is how many competitors you've got and what those competitors are doing. So if we said a medium-term strategy for this should be looking at this as going 6 to 12 months as a minimum before you really start to go, right, we've now got, if you imagine, you've got to get your profile up there. Once your profile's up there, you've got to keep it there, because you've now got to allow people to be able to see it over a period of time to be able to click on you. Just getting you up there for a week is no good. It would be a bit like putting an ad in the paper once and going, well, we didn't get anything.
Yeah. But you know what? What's amazing is people actually do that, because I've got a mate who's got a magazine company, and he'll say, people go, I put it in last month and nothing happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
No,
consistency.
don't. I, I have actually said to some people that I've engaged with, when they've said, oh, can you help me? When we've looked at it and we've looked at who their competition is, I'm like, look, here's the things that you should go and do to tighten this up to make it look presentable. So if someone does Google business, that it looks good.
Yeah.
In terms of getting you higher up Google, if you've got 70 agents in your town and you're ranked in the bottom 5, you're never going to get into the top 10. Not without looking at this as going, right, it's a 5-year plan, invest it.
Yeah.
Go and invest and spend your money elsewhere.
Yeah.
For anyone who does want to have a bit of a look and a fidget to see where you currently are, you can scan the QR code on your screen now. Yeah. And you will be able to just pop your details in on the website, and then that will then generate a report for you. There is a video of me. I know.
I'm going to do that. I'll probably publish.
True story. When I went to record that video, they didn't tell me that I was going to be in the video, and I just turned up in a t-shirt, which is why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. And I thought that I was going to sit with designers and watch like drone footage and like animate stuff and everything. And then they were like, no, you are the video. So I was a bit like, oh. Didn't probably wouldn't turn up in a t-shirt when I was wearing that, but there you go. It's all good. So
You're
yeah,
in tech. You're allowed to dress however the fuck you like.
I mean, you and I both sat here in a hoodie, so you know, maybe that's sign of the times. But yeah, so details are on the screen. If you want to have a chat, got any questions, feel free to reach out and give me a shout. And that is me done.
Mate, that is really, really interesting. I'll
I'm
share
desperately trying
this.
to move my camera. Sorry, for
That's all
some
right.
reason it's.
It's still there. I can still see you.
I know. Sorry, I'm just very conscious that I'm looking down at my screen at this
No
moment in
worries.
time. There we go.
What,
Sorry, my
what,
camera's
what
back
we'll
on
do
there.
is we will download this. We'll share it with our members across our
Yeah,
different
sure.
and that. And I think it's really fascinating. I'm going to share this video with my VA, and yeah, and potentially she'll be in touch because I know that there's stuff you were saying things there. And I was thinking, shit, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we've got loads of reviews.
Oh, look.
We had an issue where it wouldn't allow us to.
I remember. I
Yeah,
remember you texting me saying why
drove
my
me
review's
mad.
not showing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
We got them back. We're up to 231,
nice.
two. But we need more. We need more. But mate, listen, that's really good. I'm going to stop record now and then just thank you off air.
That's cool.
Brilliant.